heat, the 8th in the girls 4x400. Field looks like this. Paul the 6th, Brearley,
Ooh.
Union City, and an early fall.
2 girls.
And that's nasty.
Down.
Yep. That was past the first 100 meters, so they won't bring everybody back. Leading the lineup, Sacred Heart, Northeast, Monmouth Regional, Friends Seminary, Nyack, McKee, Staten Island, Bayport, Blue Point, Waverly, Tamaqua, Hanover, Tenafly, Prospect Heights, and boys and girls. Currently, Friends Seminary leads at the end of this first leg. LaDeja Jackson Antrim is the leadoff runner for Friends Seminary, followed closely behind by Nyack, Jerila Camus Wang.
Bill, I just need to point this out. You said we were on time. We are on time still.
Are you just trying to tempt fate now, though? If I said it once, that was enough.
I'm just telling you.
Remember, we were ahead of schedule, so now we're just on time, which is a bad sign because that means we're trending in the opposite direction.
They have all kinds of tricks to figure out ways to pull it back together, but just want to let you know.
Friends Seminary in first, and now overtaken by a hot leg here from Paul the 6th, Sandra Brackett. She is just blown past the leading runner. It was not the fastest first 400. 1:02.24 was the leading split for Friends Seminary. Again, trying to beat a time of 4:02.60.
You know, yes, when you're running against the clock, that matters. But when you have, like, in a final, you have to throw that time out the door sometimes and just compete. And it's hard not to think of these races as finals.
You see the effort here. Just look at those faces. And again, I mentioned it earlier, but when you're talking to the really, really outstanding or newer track fans who want to become outstanding track fans, like the rest of the folks out there, they might hear 400 or a quarter mile and think, oh, geez, that's nothing. Go out there and run. But at full effort, explain to me just how difficult that was.
Well, Dan and I have talked a little bit about that today. This is one of the hardest races to run. It's something that, you know, and I was a middle distance runner, but I remember running this race. I remember running this distance in practice. And it is one of those races or distances where you really use your gut in it. And all of these athletes, no matter how fast they're running, if it's a 56 or a 66, it's still a gut-wrenching event.
Paul the 6th leads with Ashley Forster on the third leg. Ashley Forster heading into the back stretch, trying to bring it home for Paul the 6th from nearby New Jersey. Nyack sits in second. And then there's a big gap back to Bayport Blue Point in third. Nyack's runner here on this third leg is Ariana Marsland. And there is the final exchange. Paul the 6th anchor Bridget Fitzsimon has it.
Pretty runner. Watch her stride as she goes around this turn. She strides out. She's right there underneath her. You can see her heels coming right up underneath her glutes. She really has a nice stride.
Well, it's a nice feeling, too, when you get the baton that far ahead and you know that you just have to give a good effort, maybe not the best effort, to bring this thing home.
And unlike the 4x100 heats, remember, even though you're trying to be in the top 8 to qualify for the Championship of America final, each of these heats is also considered a final. So if you win this heat, you officially win a relays final as a group. So there is still the Championship of America carried out in front. But for these teams in these heats, they really are just competing against the other teams that they're out there with.
It's like icing on the cake to get to the final.
Here comes Paul the 6th ahead of Nyack. They've been 1-2 the whole way.
Woo!
And Paul the 6th brings it home with Bridget Fitzsimon, 4:07.55. Only about 0.3 of a second ahead of Nyack in second.
Nyack closed hard.
Boy, they have really blown the rest of the field out, though. We're still waiting for our third-place team to roll across, and there it is with Northeast and Tenafly. So Paul the 6th and Nyack just opened up the field on the rest of the group. And quickly we start our next heat, just like that.